Yes, well, you've found yourself in some dodgy situations, but I mean, do I have this correctly? The the Muslim invaders who just got there, who have no rights, who have no claim on this land, who've broken the law just by like getting there, just decided that they are so in charge that they are going to stab to death or try to or stone to death an American journalist. That's how in charge they actually are. Do I have that correctly?
Yeah, they got very upset when I started filming in this one location specifically. Yeah, and it wasn't even like it was out in a public street outside the market where they had just opened up the market because they had markets closed all the past weekend because the city was didn't want to get looted. So someone finally opened up a market. I'm going out there. I show that there's these people are now walking out with dogs to protect themselves because the Muslims don't like dogs. And this guy just starts freaking out at me. Him and another guy. Uh, they initially start yelling like cut the camera, and they weren't even in my shot either. That's a weird thing. And then he keeps following me. I'm like, dude, go away. And then he grabs a bottle from the garbage, throws it at me, and then he keeps following me. And then he throws a rock. They kept throwing more, and then they started chasing me. And the one guy said that he's going to stab you.
Did he have a knife?
Yeah. Like he reached down, grabbed a knife from his pocket, and then he started running. And then, as you see in the footage, we just started running as fast as we could.
So you believe that this Muslim invader was about to actually kill you. You believe that if he had caught you, he would have murdered you. He would have tried to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he would have stabbed me.
What is it in somebody, and you've of course seen this stuff up close, what is it in somebody that says, I just got here, I broke the law coming here, and now I'm going to just immediately start committing murders? What is that?
That's a great question. I don't know what it is. I feel like there's definitely a sense of entitlement from these people. I mean, they literally just walked across a border. They didn't just walk across; they all stormed it. It was very much planned um, as to who was going to come over and how many were going to come over. The Moroccan government, the authorities on the other side, the Moroccans told us they let them through to get to the Spanish border. And then the videos of the people at the Spain border, of them just opening up the gates, like there was definitely some coordination that took place because you don't just open up your gate when you see thousands of people in line.
So the locals told you that this was orchestrated and planned, and it was done so with clearly the help of the Spanish government. Do you believe that? Did your reporting show that?
Well, everyone everyone believes that it was coordinated somehow. Nobody knows exactly how. But when I spoke to some of the Moroccan migrants that came through, they said the Moroccan authorities let them through. And then the videos of them at the gate of the Spanish military border patrol opening up the gates is pretty crazy.
The Spanish government says that they have solved this problem and that it was just a weekend event, and don't worry, and none of these people will ever make it to the mainland Europe, and we got this under control. Is that true?
When I was there, there was hundreds, thousands of people crawling out of the mountains everywhere we went, and there was encampments of thousands of kids. For instance, a lot of kids came over all by themselves, and they're all just stranded at the other side of the border. And everyone that we spoke to has the goal of getting into the mainland, and there is a ferry that they could theoretically get onto somehow, if they were to sneak in by car, or who knows how it operates with cartels and mafias as well. We know how it works. Like, people will do quite literally anything, especially illegally, if needed.
What was their stated intended purpose? Because there's plenty of us that can sit here and assume we know what it is, but you went there and spoke with the actual Muslim invaders. What is their purpose for being there?
There was no jobs, no money in Morocco. So all these men thought, hey, let's leave our wives, let's leave our daughters, let's leave our kids, and let's go to Spain to get money. And let's leave our children and wives in a country where there's apparently no jobs or no money. It doesn't make any sense.
So that's the story they told you. I mean, I
Yeah.
believe it, I guess. Like, I believe it on a fundamental human level that you want to go get
But
money.
I don't understand why they would, if they don't have money, why they'd leave their wives with no money in a place where there's no opportunity to make money.
Well, that's right, because oftentimes we're told about the noblesse of these people and how important it is for them to just seek a better life and how moral they are. And it's just everything that your immigrant ancestors were. But that's fundamentally not true. It's actually deeply immoral what they are doing.
Yeah, the modern day migrant isn't the same migrant from the 1800s.
You've seen nobody's seen these subsections and these ecosystems that exist in Western culture more than you. You've gone and you've studied them and you've exposed them. How are they different? How are the modern migrants different than, let's say, an immigrant from Europe in the 1800s?
Well, I mean, if you just look at it, they don't go and they don't assimilate with the people who are already there. They don't go and learn their language. It's interesting when you go to these countries, they're all in like groups. It's not like the British are assimilating and speaking with the Muslims. It's uh, the Muslims in their own part of town and the British are on the other side. There's no assimilation any means. Like, I feel like there's a reason why these countries became so great, and that's because everyone worked together. And now there's like different teams working against each other inside these countries, and that's where you see the conflict take place.
Yes. It seems by design, and specifically they're going after a formerly Catholic Christian kingdom. I guess it still is in some diminished capacity. But do you believe that there's an element of a religious war here? The Muslims had conquered Spain before.
Well, 100%. And that's why they're all coming to our countries. From the United States, we're seeing it right now, and then it's been happening for years and years and years in Europe. And it's makes you wonder, like, why are they doing this? But then you speak to them, and I don't know what exactly the phrase is because I don't speak Arabic, but they essentially like want Islam to be everywhere. I can't remember the phrase for it, but they want it to be everywhere.
And so why and so of course if you would want your ideology to conquer people, you would send your military aged young men there, right? Like cuz that's what predominantly makes up these groups, correct?
Of course, and that's what they're doing. They're sending like yesterday when I was there, it was just men from 21 years old to 28 years old, and then there was the children that they left at the border. And these men, like, they're going all by themselves.
And I think you asked them like where are all the women and children?
Yeah, and then they said in Islam they stay at the house. So it doesn't make any sense to abandon your wife and kids and go to another country.
What would happen if and we've all sort of seen the proposals. I mean, we've seen the horrors that have been wrought on our society with open borders or even with legal migration from places where you shouldn't have migrants from. Because if you wouldn't want to go live in Morocco or Somalia or Chad or Djibouti or Haiti, why would you bring people from those places that created those cultures to our culture? No politician's ever been able to answer that question. But what do you think? Like because you just saw it up close. Maybe it's like just been a long time since we've seen an open border. You know, it's been like 18 months of the Trump administration, and the border has been sealed quite tightly, right? So we haven't seen this kind of clip. I think it's shocked people back into the realization that this will happen again in America, like quickly, right? If the left takes control.
100%. They want to abolish ICE. They want to get rid of borders. They think they have this idea that by welcoming these people that it's the humane thing to do. When in reality, open borders is the most inhumane thing possible. You let kids go stranded. You're incentivizing kids to traffic themselves across the border, where they then get picked up by traffickers, and then who knows what exactly happens to them. People then get over to another country where they don't know the language. They essentially become addicted to welfare because that's the only way they can survive because they don't know the language inside these countries. Open borders is the most inhumane thing possible. So many kids get trafficked, so many women get raped, so many families are displaced because of when these politicians incentivize these open borders. And that's something that the left would never talk about because they think it's humane to bring them over. They think it's humane to bring over people who do not even speak the same language to try and say, hey, if you come over here, we're going to give you this and this. But don't worry, it's nearly impossible for you to work in our society because we speak a complete different language.
If, I don't know why this would happen, but if a couple MAGA supporters attacked you and tried to kill you and stab you on camera, that'd be a huge news story. If a couple like Christian conservatives tried to do this, it'd be a huge news story, right? Like this would be big and the corporate media would cover it. You're an American journalist. I remember a time not too long ago when an American journalist, if they were attacked abroad and their lives were threatened abroad, that'd be a huge news story. Why is this not a huge news story?
Well, it's simply because they don't care. It's similar
It is to us. It is to us. We love you, Nick. But like,
thank you.
Why isn't this on the front page of the New York Times? I checked this morning. It is not.
Similar to why when 250,000 women went raped, the Me Too movement went silent. It doesn't fit their political narrative.
I would like to ask maybe just like one final zoom out question, which is about breakaway societies in the United States and how corrosive that is. Because again, you travel to these places, whether it's in the streets of New York or in Minneapolis, in mini Mogadishu, you go to these places and you're able to reveal an underbelly that I don't think a lot of Americans, we either look away or we're just not aware of. And that there's like an entirely different third world society that's been built in this country, maintained by our tax dollars, as parasitic definitionally, and they don't have any interest in assimilating. And they don't want to be American. They want to be Somalis in America, right? Or Africans, from sub-Saharan Africa in America, right? Selling ripped off bags on the street. Why do we allow that? Why is that permissible? Why do no politicians ever try and make the case as to why these people are enriching our society?
Well, there's a few reasons why. One is because they realize that when they get these people hooked onto, for instance, these welfare benefits, for instance, 81% of Somalians in Minnesota are on welfare. That then gives these politicians control of a mass amount of people when it comes time to get votes. That's one reason why. And then another one is simply because they don't want to be called racist or Islamophobic or be called any other word that would make them look bad potentially. But nowadays, people are over that. People just want the truth. They just want their dollars to get sent where they intend it to go to, and they just want safe societies. We want high trust societies. And it feels like anywhere you go, you're losing more and more trust inside of each society. People just want to have high trust societies. They don't want to be told that they're a racist or Islamophobic for speaking out and saying a fact. That's what I do. I go and report. And I just let people talk. And I let them say what's happening. I never try to put a political twist on it. It's crazy to see how the media and the politicians will then make a political twist on whatever I go and report on, when I'm just sharing people what's happening from the source.
Yeah.
But that's why they allow this to happen, is because they don't want to. They know, one, they can control a mass group of people, and then two, they don't want to be called a racist or Islamophobic.
How do we fix it? What would be your recommendation to the Trump administration? And you're right, like what the media does is so. I mean, what the media did to you, dude. What CNN did to you in Minneapolis is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like we called the fraudsters. I will never forget. Oh man, dude. I must play it once a week. We called the fraud CNN. Like Nick Shirley's a right-wing extremist. We called the fraudsters and said, "Are you committing fraud?" We couldn't reach any of them on phone. And the one we did said no. And so that's good enough for us.
It's pretty amazing, actually. It's pretty amazing. One thing I think that's been amazing about me exposing the fraud is I've also been able to expose the media for covering up for the fraudsters versus the person going out and doing the fraud. I do think there should be a lot more people in America, and a lot more young men specifically, that should have the courage to be able to stand up for what is right. So for so long, people have felt like if they stand up, they'll be maybe they'll lose a job, maybe they'll lose a friendship. But it's past that. People need to stand up, or else everything that we value and that we care about will be gone. And I think that's something I hope I'm inspiring other individuals to simply just stand up and speak the truth when they know it's the truth, and to not cower to these people, especially when they're breaking the law or breaking the crime or devaluing our society. Like our ancestors fought and died for America. A lot of people even fought in Europe, and now you're seeing that men won't even stand up